Bonjour, Gakinawiya. Welcome back to another lesson or episode of Ojibwe Language Table with me, Wes Jourdain. Lesson number 114. Classroom commands, greetings, and affirmations. Continued part 7. All right. Seems like there's a little delay with my computer, but nonetheless, hopefully it's working. We're going to go right into it. Starting off with our self-introduction. As usual, Bonjour, Gakinawiya. Wes Jourdain Indigenous Gidiga Benesi Indigo Magazine Indu Dame Squaw Gamiwe Zaga Ganing Indu Jiba Ga Asanita Cogninda. All right, so we're working on another poster. As you can see, we've been doing a series of posters, and this is another one that I seen coming out of Red Lake Chemical Health. The image is used courtesy of Glyphwick and West Ballinger of the NGB project. Also, a sponsor is the Empowered Youth Development Initiatives. Any more info on that, contact Susan Inham at 218-766-3507 and or coach.danninham@gmail.com. So I'd like to thank those organizations for spreading the jam, I suppose you can say, and sharing Ojibwe throughout our communities via posters, via social media, however this poster gets out and gets portrayed. So this is the poster we're going to go through. It's quick 4 slides, and then we'll talk about what's going on in these posters. So up at the top, and I didn't put this in a slide, I forgot to put it in a slide, but it says Gikino Mage. Gikino Mage. Here he teaches. Gikino Mage. All right, notice here it's gender neutral, gender neutral or gender mutual. Doesn't matter, he or she. Um, you can decipher if it's a male teacher. You can say Gikano Mage Winini. Or you can if it's a female teacher, you can say Gikano Mage Kwe. All right. For one person. If you want to pluralize that, you have a bunch of male teachers, you can say Gikino Mage Wininiwag. Or women, Gikino Mage Kwewag. Those are more than one teacher. So getting to our first question right here up on the top. This says Ani Shekidong blank Ojibwe. Ani Shekidong blank Ojibwe. All right. So our English means how do you say blank in Ojibwe? All right. So maybe you're asking, that little boy's asking, Grandma, Ani Shekidong, Ani Shekidong Miskwa. Ani Shekidong red? How do you say red in Ojibwe? The color of my hat. And in return, she'll say, oh, Miskwa. Just something as simple as that, Miskwa. All right. Whatever you ask, Anish Ekitoyan blank Ojibwe. And I broke that down here. Anish meaning how or what. Ikido, and when we put it in conjunct form, it changes to Ikido. We change the first vowel, so now it has she or he says or speaks. How does she or he say? And then Yun is conjunct form, meaning you. All right. So Anish Ikido Yun blank Ojibwe Mong. All right, Ojibwe Mong. And that just simply means in Ojibwe or in the language. All right. Ani Shekidong blank Miss Ojibwe Mong. All right. So that's our example for the first one. I know it's kind of vague, but I'm just giving you guys an idea of how to say some of these words on here. We look at it, we see them every day if we have this poster, but we don't hear it. So that's what I'm here to do. I'm trying to bridge that gap between wondering how you say it and then for you guys to hear how it's said. All right. So let's go to the next one. We have the same poster. But now we're down to number 2 on our screen. And this one says Anishe Kedoyan blank Jaganashi Mung. Anishe Kedoyan blank Jaganashi Mung. How do you say blank, in English? All right, maybe some kids are some first language speakers. That's what they grew up hearing, but they don't know what the English is. So that's what you would ask. Anishe Kedong blank Jaganashi Mung. How do you say this in English? Maybe they're talking about a chair. All right. Ani shikadong a puppy win jaganashi mung. How do you say a puppy win in English? All right. And here's how that's broken down. Anish, how or what? Ikido again changed to ikido. She or he says or speaks. And then yun again is referring to you. And then Jaganashi Mung, last one we had said Ojibwe Mung. Now we're asking how to say it in Jaganashi Mung or English. All right, so Anish Ekidong a Pabiwin Jaganashi Mung. And grandma right there might say chair. All right, just to switch it around a little bit. Moving along, we have a couple set of new words here. Again, we're on number 3 now. Anishke Wejbiagayan blank Ojibwe. Anishke Wejbiagayan blank Ojibwe. What way do you write blank in Ojibwe? All right. Anishke Wejbiagayan blank Ojibwe. All right, so we have Anish meaning how or what. Kea means in that way. All right, so you're asking how in that way. Ojibige changes to Wejibige. And then we have the prefix yun, talking about you, not a prefix. But Ojibigeyon. Anish Kea Wejibigeyon. Blank Ojibwe. How do you write blank in Ojibwe? So an example would be book. Let's use book. Anish Kea Wejibigeyon book Ojibwe. And then Granny would, if Granny knew how to spell book, she would spell it out. How do you write it? Mazina glottal IGAN Mazanaiganan. There's a book. So Mazanaigan is one piece of paper, a whole bunch of pieces of paper. Mazanaiganan, which is a book. All right. Anishke Wejabigayan blank Ojibwe. What way do you write book in Ojibwe? That was our example. And then our last phrase, our last question asking on this bottom of this page, it says Anishke Wejabigayan blank Jaganashi Mung. Anishke Wejabigayan blank Jaganashi Mung. And so the same question, but in English, what way do you write blank in English? And so let's use book again. What way do you write Mazanaiganan in English? And so you have Anish, how or what? Kea, in that way. Wejibige means to write. And Yun is talking about you. What way do you write Mazanaigan? None in English. And then the Granny, if she knew how to spell, if that's her thing, she spells things out, she would just say B-O-O-K, book. Mazanaiganan equals book. All right. So let's take a look at these. I'm going to put my arrow on these, so we'll review just right here. Anishe Keduyan blank Ojibwe. How do you say blank in Ojibwe? Anishe Keduyan blank Jaganashi Mung. How do you say blank in English? Anish kaya wajabiagayan blank Ojibwe. In what way do you write blank in Ojibwe? Anish kaya wajabiagayan blank Jaganashimung. In what way do you write, or how do you write blank in English? All right, so that's today's episode, lesson number 114, part 7. And we'd like to thank Red Lake Chemical Health, Wes Ballinger of the NGB project, also Empowered Youth Development Initiative, Susan and Dan Inham, for creating and developing these beautiful posters that we see throughout our communities, and especially right here in Red Lake. So, miigwech everyone for coming along here and checking us out. Miigwech bizindawig, minawa miigwech gikanawabam damig. Woo, that's a tough one. Miigwech gikanawabam damig. All right. Thank yous for listening. Thank yous for watching. Gikawabamin inim mi nawa. I will see all of yous again at some point in time. Miigwech bizindawig ayang guamaziok.